It's December already, and that means we're going to talk about lots of things that have been happening in the 2019 season, starting with Merlin Annual Passes. Are they good value, or are they a little bit overpriced for what you actually get? We're going to be talking about Arrow coasters. How long have they got left? We've seen Vortex has been removed. How many more Arrow coasters are going to go in the next couple of years? And also, should Blackpool Pleasure Beach scrap the fireworks on every late night riding event? Pleasure Beach Experience Monthly. Once again, I'm joined by Mark and Mike. We're in proper height order this time. Mike has been shortened, he's no longer 8 foot tall and wearing stilts, so we're all in the correct height order. We've got the PB logo with us again. Firstly, we're going to start by talking about Merlin Annual Passes, mainly the premium passes, because I'm sure if you went to Alton Towers fireworks recently, or at the end of the season, you'll have had to pay the £5 upcharge to get into the park, which, I don't know, what do you think about that? Should premium pass holders have to pay an upcharge for fireworks?
No, the whole point of the premium pass is that it takes away 90% of the restrictions. It's fair enough when they say, right, you can't use it on the eye on that date, and that date.
Yeah.
And the dungeons or wherever. But for what for me is still a regular day of the theme park season.
Yeah.
You set some fireworks off with some music.
The thing is, what they could argue is that they get ridiculously busy and they hit their capacity every day. So are we entitled to go in, or do you think that, yeah, we've got a pass, we should be able to go in every single day of the year?
There must be a way of... It strikes me as an excuse to make another £5 out of pass holders to me.
Fair enough.
I wouldn't mind if it was, you pay a £5, but you get something in return for your £5, like one fast track shot or something like that, or even just a voucher for the food or something. I wouldn't mind that. It's the fact that you pay really. I mean, yeah, they are really good value, but it's still 180 quid a year.
Yeah,
you're paying quite a lot of money for these passes that you're then having to pay more on top of.
Yeah, because obviously when they brought out the premium pass, it was kind of advertised, because you had the premium pass and the VIP pass. And the VIP pass has been discontinued. With the VIP pass, you literally got everything. You got fast track every time you went. Yeah, you got unlimited fast pass. You obviously got to do behind the scenes tours. There was guaranteed entry to the park whenever you went. Premium pass, you obviously don't get that, but there was a massive price difference, like £600 worth of price difference, I think. I think it wasn't
it was 600 quid, wasn't it?
Was it? Yeah. And I'd be interested to know if anyone had a VIP pass for Merlin. Let us know in the comments if you did and what you think about them discontinuing it, because there was a lot of outcry about that, if I'm sure you can remember. But I don't know, I'd probably sit on the fence with this, because I can kind of see where they're coming from with the capacity, and that it's like, yeah, there's going to be 40,000 people in the park, but at the same time I can see where you're coming from. We've bought a pass, we bought it for the year. Imagine Pleasure Beach doing it, where they go
there'd be
every time
chaos.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of people complaining about it who probably have a premium pass for Merlin. I'm going to bring Mark in because I know he wants to talk.
It's just, I'm a bit like yourself, but it's only a one-off occasion. It's not like Blackpool's like 9 times that they're doing the fireworks. It's a one-off occasion, and I can kind of see why they do it at £5, because if, for example, someone was coming up from London and they thought, you know what, we're not going to get there for early opening because it's too far. We'll get there for like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's open till 9. We'll enjoy the fireworks, etc. And then like they get to there and they've already hit capacity. It's like, well, that's 3 hours of my day absolutely wasted. And you'd be uproar about it. So I can understand why they have this £5 that says, then they know exactly how many's coming, and then they can say, like they did this time, on the Tuesday, say, you know what, we're sold out on a Saturday. You'll have to pick another day if you want to come, and then you can make your arrangements accordingly.
Would it be better if, say, to control it, as a pass holder, you kind of had to register that you were going? So rather than having to pay, or even if you paid a service charge of £1 for registering, would it be better to do it that way, where you say, I am definitely coming? Because part of it, for me, is I think that it's a deterrent to stop you going 3 days on the bounce and just going and sitting watching the fireworks. I think it is to stop people with the annual passes going every day, spending no money on the park, when a couple of people, like Mark says, might come from London or Scotland, who will pay 40 quid to get in each, maybe more. I don't know what the gate price is, don't know what the price is online, I've not looked. But I'd sit on the fence with it, but how would you do it differently, Mike?
I think the thing that strikes me is people reserving space then not turning up.
Yeah.
Which obviously screws the park over. Like I said, charging a £5, but giving something back for that £5.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind that. Giving something back for that £5.
The only trouble with that is, like, how would you manage that? Would you, because you'd have to have it done by email. Otherwise, if you went to guest services, you've got 20,000 pass holders who's got this £5, and then you're waiting like 2 hours to get your fast track voucher. You know what I mean?
Well, you got a voucher by email, haven't you? Anyway, so
yeah, have it by that.
And there's
by
more
email.
than one fast track outlet.
Yeah.
There's fast track outlets all over the park. So
while we're on the subject of Merlin, there's obviously the takeover, which is either in process or has now happened. I know Merlin's now registered as a private company, I think.
It is, yeah. Private, yeah.
How do you two see it changing the parks in this country in particular? Because obviously Alton Towers is fairly family orientated anyway, whereas Thorpe Park's always been kind of a thrill capital park. Do you see them breaking up the group? Do you see them selling a couple of parks off?
I can't see it.
You're not seeing it?
I can't see it.
I can see it. I wouldn't like to think that it would be the case, but if anything, I think they'd lose Thorpe.
Yeah.
I genuinely think they'd lose Thorpe because it's not Lego's kind of market to go into a thrill ride area. So they'd like, Chessington is, obviously you've got the zoo, etc. Legoland obviously is. Towers is a combination of both really.
Yeah.
But you can see him, obviously, CBB's been expanding to a massive Lego area, and they'd probably just keep the rides that are there. I can't see him expanding and going on to getting more thrill rides into Towers. Whereas at least Thorpe, where basically everything's a thrill ride without any family stuff, so they'd be like, well, why do I need to upkeep this?
And Legoland just down the road.
Yeah.
And Chessington just down the road. It does make you wonder if maybe if they were going to drop a few parks, if maybe Thorpe would be the one.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see if they do, and I don't know who'd take Thorpe over. You can't really imagine who'd run them. You can't imagine any of the American companies coming over. Six Flags have tried their hand at Europe before. Cedar Fair, I don't think they've ever been in Europe. I can't imagine they'd want it.
No,
They've got a solid American market, haven't they? And Canadian. They don't need to come over to Europe, and it's potentially a risk for them as well. I mean, look what happened to Six Flags when they opened all those European parks. They nearly went bust.
Yeah, but you probably, I don't know, maybe the Wallaby owners.
Yeah.
Who'll come in and buy it, because obviously they've got Holland, Belgium, they've got a few other ones as well, haven't they? They think, you know what, it's basically a ready-made part for them.
Wallaby's a lot like Thorpe, I think. Wallaby Holland, sorry. I think Wallaby Holland does remind me of Thorpe so much, just the sort of the vibe it's got. I always think they're very similar in that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be interesting. Let us know in the comments what you think. I think we'll save Arrow till the last, and we'll go straight on to Pleasure Beach.
Yeah.
With the Pleasure Beach fireworks. The reason we're discussing this is Pleasure Beach have provisionally announced their opening hours for 2020. Can't believe we're saying that already. And there is 9 late night riding events rather than the usual 8 listed. I don't know if that'll stay to be the case, because if not, Pleasure Beach haven't come out and gone, here's all of our opening hours for 2020. They've just put them on the website as a provisional thing. So it will be good if there's 9 late night riding events. But do we need fireworks on everyone, Mike? Do they need it?
I'd have rid of them, because I think they seem to have been cancelled more than they've been run this year.
The
it seems a bit pointless, really.
Yeah, the problem you've got with having a set date for something like a late night riding and fireworks event, especially with Blackpool, is you just don't know what weather they're going to get. Whereas like Towers fireworks, they're all right because they know that they can do them.
And they're quite sheltered.
Yeah, they're quite sheltered. They're inland. They're not going to be done by sea air. Whereas Pleasure Beach, you've always got that risk. And if you say you've got a late night riding event and you've got 25, 30 miles per hour wind, you lose the big one, you lose flying machines, you potentially lose ice blast, you potentially lose steeplechase, you definitely lose the fireworks. And a lot of people come for those things and the fireworks, and it's out of Pleasure Beach's control. They can't control the weather, but people are understandably fed up when they've gone, oh yeah, we've come for the fireworks or we've come for the big one, and you don't get either.
Yeah, I mean, there was even that time, I want to say August, where
where
they cancelled the whole
Yeah.
late night riding. It was like, we're closing at 6, sorry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's just the bad weather that we've had this time,
Yeah.
which is totally out of their control with
I mean,
it.
on that case, when they said, oh, we're shutting at 6, I just took the decision. I couldn't even bother going.
Yeah, you were worried about the weather shutting
Well, I just thought, they said they're closing at 6. Are they going to then decide, because it's dead at 3 o'clock, that they're then going to move it to 4 or 5?
Yeah.
I had a worry that they were going to move it to 4 or 5.
The park was actually really busy still.
Yeah,
It's just...
I thought, I couldn't be bothered going.
I think they were justified in what they did that day, because we still went, and the weather was fine as predicted until 6 o'clock, and then after 6 o'clock the storm came in big style.
Yeah.
And I remember us thinking, yeah, they've made the right decision here.
Yeah.
But I could understand where you were coming from as well, because it's not like Pleasure Beach don't reduce hours sometimes when they'll go to the park instead of shut 5 instead of 6.
Yeah.
Which again, it's in their terms and conditions, but it
Plus,
doesn't always go down well.
I had overtime as an availability at the time as well, so...
He's grabbing.
Yeah.
He's grabbing. That's what it's all about, really.
I've had it a couple of times this year. I thought, well, I can't guarantee that the park's going to stay open, so I'll stay at home and do overtime instead.
Fair enough. But
Fair enough.
back to the subject. So, what would you do? Would you have fireworks on the final weekend, just like Towers? One big, final blowout, final weekend fireworks to end the season.
I don't honestly see why they need the fireworks, and I don't think that many people would not go if they didn't advertise fireworks. I think they annoy more people by when they don't run. I think it frustrates more people when they don't run fireworks than if it just wasn't there at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people do stay for them, but I don't know how they would work it, to be honest, because we all think that bringing late night riding back permanently on a Saturday would work, but there's no guarantee. That's the problem.
There's not, but I mean, for me, I would probably reduce the number of firework ones to maybe just have it like, say, Easter.
Yeah.
One in August.
Yeah.
And then one at the end. And then, as we've discussed, like maybe we'll have 9, but when the weather allows, we'll extend till 10.
Yeah.
And then you can look at it maybe a week in advance and say, you know what, it's going to be glorious. This. I'm going to head to Blackpool because they're highly likely they'll extend.
I think that's the thing. I think a lot of people would be happy with that if they had, say, fireworks, I don't know, final weekend, and like you say, August bank holiday. I've set dates where you're pretty sure the weather's going to be alright, but then say, for this many days in the season, we will extend till 10 o'clock when the weather's good, people are going to be in Blackpool, it's illuminations or it's summer, and then they could do it, like you say, a week in advance where they could go, okay, it's 30 degrees next Saturday, we will be open till 10 o'clock. And then people will go, right, let's get on it.
I do think they need more flexibility in the opening hours.
Yeah, both ways
on those cases, yeah.
Both ways though.
Because it's like I say, they've been stung a couple, 3 or 4 times this year by weather. And then it turns out the week either side was glorious.
And then it's been...
And it's a 6 and 7 o'clock close at times.
Yeah, exactly.
I just think that's pointless. Opening at 10 one week, banking on the weather, and then shutting at 7 the week after.
I think that goes back to
because you've blown the money out the water on.
Yeah. If you've got a couple of set dates with the fireworks, you can always stick to those, whereas the others can be flexible, and you can just kind of move alright, the weather's crap, we're going to shut 5 o'clock, but next week, it's going to be decent, we're going to be open till 10 o'clock. I just think that flexibility would actually see things improve in terms of how many people go. But the late night ridings are successful because so many people go, and we've seen that from the last couple of years, and I don't think they'll change it. I just wish they would be a little bit more flexible with, okay, the sun's out, Blackpool's heaving, people are still coming in the park at 5 o'clock, let's open till 10 o'clock, or even 9 o'clock. Just open until 9 o'clock, let's get the rides running, keep them going. People come in, they'll spend money, they'll buy beer, they'll buy food, they'll buy drinks. But one of the things that I have heard is that one of the main reasons for having the fireworks is that when they have these late night riding events, people generally stop spending after 5 o'clock unless they've got a reason to stay in the park. And that's a big part of why they shut at 6 and 7 o'clock now. Because if they're staying open till 10 o'clock and no one's spending after 5 o'clock, they're going to run at a loss, aren't they? But yeah,
there's a few reasons behind that though. Again, and I think we've covered a few of them in the past. The fact that it's made the option is too much of an easy option to go elsewhere, especially for your tea time food.
Well, yeah,
and that's another discussion entirely.
Yeah. We are going to do a separate video for that. It might even be on actually by this point. Yeah. That's going to be one you and Becca discuss, theme park catering. But if that is already on the channel, card in the top of the screen for that one. If it isn't, it'll be coming soon. I'm not sure on the scheduling for getting those on the channel. But there's going to be a lot of chatty videos over the closed season, that's for sure. Go on, what are you going to say?
I think on that front, you could do with... You need to make it more attractive for people to spend money in the park. Now, the fireworks is one, but just give more people more to the point. I find give people a reason not to leave the park.
Yes,
because I think that's the problem with the cake. The reason money's going elsewhere is because people are almost deterred from spending it, or almost. And this is from personal experience. I feel like at times you're prevented from spending it.
Well, if there's a long queue for food, you're not going to wait in it, are you?
I'm just going to go to Velvet Coast.
You're just going to go to Velvet Coast. That's the problem. Or if you go to somewhere like Loki's, and they've got no food.
I quote this one of the recent late night ridings. There was a queue for the barbecue, back virtually to the Icon Bridge.
To finish Pleasure Beach Experience Monthly's December episode, we're going to be talking about aerodynamics, and that is why we're holding up aerodynamics wheels. But more and more aero coasters are either being closed, removed, or the futures are just in doubt. So we're going to be talking about aerodynamics coasters that we'd really like to go on before they all get removed, because they're all getting old, aero are long gone, and it's got to the point where they just can't be serviced anymore. And if they are being serviced, it's either by S&S and other companies, and we're just going to see them all go eventually. So we're going to talk about the ones that we really want to do before they close, and just talk about aero really, because we do like aero coasters. Mike, which one would you really like to do before it closes? Because, like I say, they're not going to last forever now, are they? They're all getting on a little bit.
Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah.
Busch Gardens, Williamsburg.
Yeah. What is it about that one that you want to do? Why do you want to do that one in particular?
The one that goes under the lake, innit?
Yes, I think
it's
so.
got an underground section, and it's got the interlock loops.
Yeah. What about you, Mark?
Is it good?
Yeah. Is there any in particular?
Desperado for me.
Desperado.
Then I complete the set.
Yeah.
Of all the aero hypers that are left in operation at the moment. I know it's going to be a tough one, but having watched the POV just long by, it's just like, maybe not. But
yeah.
It would be nice to complete. I've done all the operating ones at the moment. Just tick them off the list. And
yeah.
Obviously the trouble is it ever going to be open, because it's in and out of operation at the moment, isn't it? So
that's the problem with it, because it's been SPNO open, SPNO open, and it's in a park that a lot of people are saying it's not really got much of a future anyway. I mean, is it Buffalo Bills?
Buffalo Bills or something like that. It's harder, isn't it, really? So
yeah, it's not the easiest one to get to without tying it in with probably Vegas and a couple of other parks in California. But if you're going that far, you want to do all the parks.
Yeah.
And that's when it becomes expensive, because you can go, well, we can go and just risk Desperado being closed, or do you go and do the lot?
Yeah.
And it's a difficult one to do, but I'd like to do that one. I'd like to get that ticked off, definitely. It's an aero hypercoaster. It does look brutal. It looks full of square corners, and I'm sure it's brutal, and I'm sure the airtime on it's brutal. But like you say, just to tick it off and complete the set would be very nice. Of course, there's quite a lot of aero looping coasters that are still going, but with what's happened with Vortex, there's now a question of just how long are they going to keep going. Viper at Six Flags, Magic Mountain, that's one that people thought was going to close. I think last year it was closed for quite a significant amount of time, and then it reopened. A lot of people thought that was a goner. There's talk of Anaconda also going. I think that is that in Canada? I'm not sure.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I know Coaster Studios has mentioned that one quite a bit. And you just never know, because the thing with a lot of these coasters is the removal just seems to get announced like a month before it, and with so many of them being so far from home, the chance of actually getting on them all is just very slim. I'd like to do Viper as well, definitely. I'd like to do that one. Desperado's an obvious one. But yeah, it's difficult because there's just so many that look decent. Corkscrew, that was at Knott's Berry. It's now at Silverwood Theme Park. But getting there, I think it's like 5 hours from the nearest airport that you can fly to from the UK. And then there's nothing else near it. So it's like, do you go all that way for one arrow? To get them all would be a lot of dedication.
A lot of money as well.
Yeah, a lot of money and a lot of dedication, and I think you'd probably have to lose a lot of your other park trips to do it.
Yeah, it would be nice to get the majority of them done and all.
Yeah.
Obviously, from our point of view, people know I wasn't a fan of Vortex and stuff like that, but one of the things that I will say is, like, without Arrow, there wouldn't be a lot of other coasters and that, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, there's not many in the UK, obviously. There's not many in Europe. I think I've done all of the ones that are open in Europe. I'd imagine you two have as well, because there's not many. There's not many. I mean, the only one that I can obviously think of that's not far from home is El Diablo, Portaventura. And that's not Arrow's finest work, let's face it.
No.
But another one that I'd like to do is Tennessee Tornado, Dollywood. That's meant to be probably one of the best. A lot of people say that's one of the best arrows going. And then you've got all the corkscrews. There's just so many of them. But which do you think will be the next to go, and which do you think will last the longest?
I think Cedar Creek Mine Ride's on borrowed time.
Yes.
I really do. That's an horrendously rough ride.
Yes, it is.
And to be honest, I think do it once the 150 anniversary is out of the way.
Let's
I
see the
think
point.
that might well be a goner.
Yeah.
Because it's rough as a bear's backside. Awful.
I've never witnessed a bear's backside, I've got to be honest, but I'll take your word for it.
It's awful.
It is awful.
Viper at Six Flags Magic Mountain's got to be on borrowed time, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And, like you say, Desperado.
Yeah.
I think they're all on borrowed time.
I think they are.
The one that Arrow, and it's not even really an Arrow anymore because it was heavily retracked, but Phantom's Revenge is the one that's probably...
I wouldn't even count that anymore though. No. Like you say, it's been so retracked,
so
it's
much
not even an Arrow really, is it?
Yeah, that's the one that in its location is probably likely to stay the longest. I don't know.
I'm of the opinion the corkscrew at Cedar Point will be the longest one.
Yeah.
Might do, yeah.
Because of it's so iconic to the Midway that they'll have it going for as long as possible, I think. And
yeah, I think that they will preserve that, and it had to be mentioned, that and Magnum will last forever, I think. They'll last as long as they can. The problem with Magnum is yeah, it's in a decent location, but it's in the perfect location for another hypercoaster. Now, should they decide actually we want to upgrade, in my opinion, would be a downgrade. Let's say they went with something like Shambhala to replace it, I'd be devastated, because I just think that the Arrow Hypers have got so much more about them than the B&M hypercoasters. They're good, the B&Ms, they're just a bit smooth. There's a bit more airtime, but we're not actually going to do anything else, and you're not going to feel anything for the 2 minutes while you're on it.
Yeah, I rate Magnum above any of the
yeah, I do.
Any of the B&Ms I've been on.
Followed by Phantoms, which
and
again is
the Intamins actually as well.
Yeah,
thinking about it.
That's what I mean. That's why I'm hoping that that's got a long time left yet.
Give me Magnum over Millennium any day of the week.
And I think Corkscrew, like you say, that'll last because it's iconic location. But I also think that when it closes, the corkscrews will remain where they are, which is obviously disappointing if you can't go on it. But it'll be nice to still see it there.
It'd be nice to touch, obviously, like with towers with a corkscrew at the main entrance. It'd be nice if they left it there because it is so iconic when you're walking down that Midway for the first time and you just see them over the top of it. It's just ace. But in relation to obviously the other point about what might go, I've got a feeling it'll be the mine train at Six Flags Great Adventure.
Oh yeah,
that's weird.
That was a square corner
That's
special.
an Arrow classic. That is. That is an absolute classic Arrow design. That
it's square corner special.
It's weird.
It really was.
I mean, that helix over the lakes, so dodgy.
It's just square, isn't it? It just sort of bounces off the corners. But in terms of aerodynamics appreciation, we know that we're all fans of Magnum, so we won't go on about that one. But what other Arrow coasters are you fans of, would you say? I know we've not done loads, but out of the ones we've done.
The mine train at Kings Island is a really good coaster.
Do you know,
I wasn't a fan of it, I've got to be honest with you.
I thought it was great.
Do you know, I'm struggling to separate that and the one at Six Flags because I seem to remember them being so similar.
They were very, very similar.
The one at Kings Island's longer.
Yeah.
2 or 3 lift hills on it.
They did.
Yeah, no, I'll be honest, I didn't rate that one that much.
I thought that was a really good ride.
Yeah.
That was one of the better rides at the park for me, that one.
Yeah.
I think.
Fair enough. Other than obvious ones, Magnum, big one.
Vortex.
Vortex was decent. I enjoyed that. I know you hated it, but
Honestly,
Gemini's
a decent one again.
Yeah,
like you say, that's really good. But Corkscrew, I like Corkscrew. It's just not rough.
So I didn't do it. So
yeah, I really, for its age, I thought it was exceptional. It really was, and obviously how iconic it is for like first one to upside down 3 times, weren't it?
Yeah, it's such a basic layout, but it's just so good.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like when you build a coaster on like a Planet Coaster or Roller Coaster Tycoon. If you've not got much of a budget, that's the kind of looping coaster you go for. Just simple drop, loop, corner, corkscrews, the end. Yeah. And it just works. So for its age, it's in good nick, it's not rough, and it's just pleasant.
It does remind you of the triple corkscrew on RCT 1 and 2.
Yes.
I can't do that.
Okay, Siri.
Okay, Siri.
Fair enough. It can't go on Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. Fair enough.
Yeah, the triple corkscrew on the first 2 RCT layouts was like that.
That's done me, that's Siri.
Was it even Siri?
Well,
if you mention Siri, it doesn't do anything, does it?
No, what even was it?
Mike, we're talking about something.
I can't do that.
I don't know. Maybe it wanted you to start Roller Coaster Tycoon, right? Oh. Anyway, so for me, big one. I know it isn't an Arrow really. The track was built by Watson Steel, has been redone by Allerton Lomax, been redone by Addison's, but it was built under the licence of Arrow, so it is still, in my opinion, an Arrow, and I think it's got all those features there, and that pretty much started me off being an Arrow fan. Wanted to do more of the others, and yeah, just a big appreciation post. I think you've forgotten to mention one though. 2 letters.
Oh, X2.
Yeah. Alright, 1 letter, 1 number.
X2. It's another one that obviously you want to do because it's just iconic for Magic Mountain. You know, you look at it and you think, yes, this looks absolutely mental, and that's how it's like synonymous with Arrow. It's just like, you know what, we're going to think what's the wackiest idea we can come up with, and they created that, and you think to yourself.
If you watch the Arrow documentary by, it was the American Coaster Enthusiasts, it's fantastic. They talk about the wacky ideas, but they've also got so many people who worked for Arrow involved who are talking about this is what we should have done, this would have saved the company. It's a really interesting watch, and you learn a lot about the company that you probably didn't know. I know a lot of people have watched it already, but if you haven't, I will put a card in the top of the screen, even though it's not our video, because I think that it's well worth a watch, and it's one of my favourite videos on YouTube. It's so informative about the roller coaster company, really, that started off things like B&M's. It encouraged B&M, Intamin, and even Vekoma to be where they are now without Arrow breaking the boundaries with some of their wacky ideas and their massive loops and ridiculously sized corkscrews. Some of these companies might not have tried these things. They might not have tried them, and we've got them to thank for so many of the coasters that are out today. But I think we can wrap it up there. So going back to the start, let us know in the comments what you think about the Merlin Pass. Should the Premium Pass get you in all the time, regardless of what's going on? Pleasure Beach, should they scrap the fireworks and just have them maybe once or twice a season, or should they be on every late night riding event as they are? And if you're a fan of aerodynamics or not a fan of aerodynamics, let us know in the comments what you think about their rides. Which is your favourite? Which would you like to do before they all go? Because they haven't got that long left. But yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments, and let us know what you'd like us to talk about in January's episode of Pleasure Beach Experience Monthly. But for now, that's it. So a big thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next Pleasure Beach Experience video.